Events are unfolding rapidly, and what you should do first thing tomorrow morning, you'll find out in this video. We have hundreds of power outages again. Some YouTubers are talking about suicides and troops being deployed now. Since this morning, tornadoes have been flying over my house non-stop. The situation is getting serious and absolutely confusing. And I hope you're prepared. Before we start the video, I received an email this morning after there were several power outages around Cologne again, where a user thanked me for telling him to please have supplies at home beforehand. He did it with the power bank, the solar panels, and said thank God the sun was shining. What are the other YouTubers saying before we get into the absolutely serious situation?
What's coming? I'm curious. That will also lead to suicides, that will cause economic ruin, entire livelihoods will be destroyed by it.
They also said the soldiers are now warriors and they should attack.
And it will affect the whole world. Strait of Hormuz now officially closed, and
That's hitting like an absolute bomb. The gas price is now rising even faster than during the Ukraine-Russia conflict when the whole thing was triggered. The Strait of Hormuz is completely closed, and Iran is now entering negotiations with the information that they have nuclear material they can use. I'm not the only one saying this, but in this video, I've gotten a bit of help from all the YouTubers here in this room who really have expertise in this field. And listen to this, just so you understand how critical the situation has become.
from what it looks like, we're being told that Iran might actually already be capable of having built 11 atomic bombs. The British Prime Minister casually mentions that Germany is now joining the war.
As for the nuclear warheads, I still say that's pure propaganda from Iran just to protect themselves. But we had to find out from the British media that we are now going to war. And suddenly, since this morning, of course, you can check it on Flight Radar. In the north of Germany, one tornado after another is taking off, flying directly over Oldenburg and then returning. That really borders on, I would say, bodily harm for everyone who lives here. Anyone who knows what tornadoes sound like when they're flying really low knows that you can't even work here anymore, even inside a closed building. And why? Should we really start organizing tornado flights over Germany from today on? The whole thing is very bizarre.
They should have addressed the nation yesterday and called on everyone to save energy.
Yesterday, the gas emergency was declared, explains Katharina Reike from the Ministry of Economic Affairs, and made it very clear to us. We will, oh no, not us, only the task force that has now been set up. They will wait until Monday after the elections to then tell us that we have an emergency. By the way, T-Online is now reporting this as well. They know that they are no longer able to fill the gas storage facilities by the end of this year, by winter. But now they want to go to war themselves. Well, against Iran.
What's coming is brutal, regardless of the fact that they're now starting to tear up the supply chains.
Yes, now troops are being deployed. Iran and also Hezbollah have clearly threatened us. If we join the war, there will be suffering, murder, and death on our streets. And the federal government is not letting itself be dissuaded from this. Merz is currently in America. Maybe you'll only get this video tomorrow morning and not tonight. I'm not entirely sure yet. What you should do is go ahead and stock up on food that will last as long as possible. Feel free to remember the big Corona times or even the attack by Russia on Ukraine, how scarce and expensive food was back then. On one hand, you can slow down inflation a bit, and on the other hand, you gain security. If there are supply shortages here in Germany, if disasters happen, at least you can lock yourself in at home. And I wasn't completely wrong. After I already told you on Sunday, please make sure to get gas, and also on Saturday. If you had done exactly that, you would save about 30 to 35 cents per liter this morning, because The price of gasoline has now risen to over 2 euros. That's why you should buy pasta and dry foods now before they get really expensive.
And with the task force being activated, what was considered a conspiracy theory last week is now true again. Once again, folks, we're not telling conspiracy theories, we just like to give spoilers.
Power outage affects half the administration across the entire state. I'd like to quickly read you an email. Thank you, Sasha. I'm extremely grateful to you. I actually bought a solar panel and a power bank. And you would never believe what a liberating feeling it was to just make myself a cup of coffee with a hand grinder. I'm so incredibly grateful to you, to all of you, also in the videos about the gas emergency. If I should do that again, please write it down below for me. All the crisis plans revealed, exactly what I would do if something like that happened. And as we can see now, hey, what was it this time? Was it a hacker attack? Was it Russia? Was it Iran? Why did the administration fail in half the state? Just think about what a disgrace that is.
Even the European Union has understood and is convening its group. So these are the ones who, for example, last met on December 18th.
I was tipped off about this. Brace yourselves. Yes, now they want to talk to Russia to buy energy there from the European Union. So now they're basically begging Russia to get energy. However, I can't confirm that through independent sources yet. I simply haven't found anything on it so far. You can probably see it on me. I haven't slept much in the last few days. And when I try to sleep, tornado jets or other fighter jets like the Eurofighter Typhoon, I think it was, fly right overhead. You can recognize them very, very well right overhead here. And that's over residential areas. I think this is the last level of escalation we need before going to war. So, if Russia doesn't want to attack, then we just attack other countries instead, or how are we supposed to understand this? Friedrich Merz is meeting with Donald Trump today, and he's already been called pathetic now that he's going there today.
And what does that mean? If gas becomes more expensive, the price of electricity goes up. Since we went along with it in 2022, maybe not to the same extent, at least I hope so, but if electricity gets more expensive, then everything gets more expensive. That means tomatoes get more expensive, everything gets more expensive. Because Trump basically struck here and Iran seems to be defending itself well.
Many countries like India have already made it clear that they need to save energy. What is the first thing you should do tomorrow morning? Here's my tip. Buy food that will last at least a year. Store it somewhere, things that won't spoil. If you don't have them yet, buy yourself some canned food. Don't do this because I'm telling you the power will go out next week, but do it so you can wake up in the morning without fear and panic. That's the big problem. Let me remind you very briefly. Every time a crisis gets worse, domestic violence increases. Why? Because people live in fear and panic, just like, for example, those from Dubai. Yeah, I just spoke with an acquaintance of mine who was able to leave Dubai, and he told me, yes, we had to say it that way. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. It seems like it was worse there than we all thought. Of course, I can't confirm this source either. But what I can tell you is when you get up and you know you have something to eat, you have something to drink, and you lack nothing, then life is easier than when you're afraid you might not be able to get anything in the stores tomorrow. May I remind you again about Corinna, when there was no toilet paper, when there were no noodles and things like that. Stock up early, otherwise you'll end up in a panic. And that's exactly what the viewers on my channel don't want for my community. Just to be clear, Drangang today I actually managed to shave, take a proper shower, and as I said, even get an hour and a half of sleep. I think you can see it on me. I'm staying on it for you. And if you have any questions, just send me an email. If you say, hey, I can't manage this, or I've lost the emergency plans I gave you, just send me an email. Heike wrote to me today as well, and I replied to her right away. However, at this point, I can't respond to all appointments and WhatsApp messages. I'm in the office non-stop. My second channel, Sasha's Opinion, I updated that again this morning. Everything that doesn't fit here will go there now. If I can even make videos with all the background noise.